Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, 50 Shades of Black and White, where I try to wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own borderline personality disorder. I talk about other personality disorders, narcissism. I talk about schizophrenia, bipolar, OCD, post-traumatic stress disorder, panic attacks, and a host of a whole lot of other things relating to mental illness. I even go into about my unethical therapies, that the psychologist I had a 2-year sexual affair with, which is considered statutory rape. I just wanted to point that out. But I come on only as a former patient. I've been out of therapy for 2.5 years now, so I cannot give you professional advice or professional opinions because I am not a therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I only come on as someone who's dealt with mental illness all her life and as a former patient. And all I ask of you is to please, please be kind in the comments. Be kind to me, be kind to other people, and be kind to yourself. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't joined my channel already, please do. It's 100% free. So the question of today's video is life worth living with mental illness? Now, there have been other videos, people I've subscribed to, who a psychiatrist, in particular, I'm thinking about Peter Gertz. He did a video, is life worth living? And his answer was yes. But this video is different. I'm not trying to copy him. I'm saying, is life worth living with, italicized, mental illness? Just in that category. And I don't have the same answer as he said in his video. He said, yes, life is worth living. Now, what my unprofessional thought and opinion of is life worth living with mental illness is, it isn't yes and it isn't no. Amazing for an all black or white borderline patient, isn't it? It's neither yes or neither no. So it isn't black and white. My answer is it can be. It can be worth living and have a fulfilling life if you have a mental illness or if you love someone in your family who has a mental illness. And I'm going to talk about myself, and I'm going to talk about my dad, my own personal experiences. Now, everything might be different to you. And remember, my answer is it can be. I didn't say to you, I didn't come on and say, yes, it is. And I didn't come on and say, no, it isn't. My answer to that question is it can be, okay? It can be. Now, my dad had schizophrenia all my life. He left at 2 years old. He had a mental breakdown. He was rolling on the floor with delusions, and he just was out of his mind. He was locked up in McLean's Hospital, a mental ward where they have a key for the doors. They don't give you a razor. He can't shave. I mean, it's pretty bare bones. So it was really horrible for him. Horrible. He heard voices. He had hallucinations, delusions. He went into psychotic rages. One time he took a baseball bat and he trashed, what was it? His brother-in-law's car. Yeah. My mother's sister's husband. So things were really, really bad. But he got on medication. And when he stayed on that medication, you wouldn't be able to tell that he was schizophrenic at all. Me and my dad had some really awesome times. If you read my book, Life with My Schizophrenic Father, you will read about the special times that my dad was really a great dad when he was on his medication. one time in particular that comes to mind right now is when we went to the Red Sox game. I live in Boston, good old Fenway Park. I think it's the oldest in the country. And we got there early, and they were practicing. It was the Oakland Athletics that that was the team that was the visiting team, and they were practicing batting. And Rob Piccolo from the Oakland Athletics. I mean, this is when I was like 16 years old, and I'm 58 now. So that I don't even know if he's living. So he was practicing, and he pitched a fly ball, and I saw it coming, right? And because we walked further down, right near home plate. We walked right there, and I caught the ball in my hand. But how fast those balls go? I caught it. I didn't have gloves on, of course. I caught it with my bare hand, and it was like I got shot in the hand. It stung. I was in such pain that it fell out of my hand, and I was like bent over like this in so much pain. And so Rob Piccolo saw, that I was in a lot of pain. He came running over, and he knew I valiantly tried to catch the ball, and I did catch it, but I couldn't hold on to it because it hurt so badly. It's like, those balls come, I don't know how many hours an hour, I don't know how many miles an hour those balls are, are batted. But, without any protection, your bare hands. He picked up the ball, and he said, do you want this? And of course I said, I'm still in pain. Yes, please. And he goes, how would you like me to sign it? So he signed the ball, Rob Piccolo, and then he gave it to my dad because my hand I was still I was still in pain, but I was getting better, he handed it. And so that was really special, me and my dad moments. My dad used to listen to me. Oh my goodness, for hours, even when he was tired, because the medication that he was on really did make him very, very tired. And he'd listen to me, and I talked to him like a friend, I tell him about my crushes on teachers at school. And I talked to him like, he was my bud. And that's when he was on medication. So if you do require medication, and not all medication helps all people, and if you need medication, that's fine. You'll need to have a psychiatrist to get that. If that medication disagrees with you, you can try different medication. I mean, it's not one size fits all. Sometimes it's medication and psychotherapy that work together. I'm not advocating medication at all, because I'm really an anti-drug person. I mean, some people don't believe that. When they see me in karaoke videos, they say, what drugs is she on? Boy, or she's high as a kite, or she's drunk. First of all, I've never done one video, even the karaoke's, under any influence of alcohol. Not even a sip. Never one. In the 4 years, it's been 4 years I've had this YouTube channel. Even when I did the karaoke, and it looks like I'm, wacky or whatever I am, in my bra and panties, not once was I under the influence of anything. Not one video. So just to let you know, I'm really anti-drug. I never even tried pot. But if medication works for your mental illness, by all means, then, my son has traumatic brain injury. My son is on a heavy, heavy cocktail. He's on Risperdal, he's on Keppra, he's on a heavy, heavy cocktail of medication. The doctors said if he didn't take that medication, he'd have to be locked up in a mental ward with a straitjacket. Yeah, he has severe, severe traumatic brain injury, and he needs that medication. So, and with that medication, he can live a life of a 2-year-old. That's about it. Without that medication, he can live a life of a maniac, strapped down in a bed, and not have any life. Not even, it wouldn't be worth living, if you're going to be strapped down and tied up. And so, what I'm saying is, if you have mental illness that requires medication, life can be almost, not I'm not going to say 100% normal, but life can be very much worth living and very much almost, like a normal life for you. And so, in that respect, I do agree and endorse medication. That is helpful. That will help you. That will help you live a more normal life. If you're like me and you're not on medication, I have borderline personality disorder, there's other things that can help to make life worthwhile. I would highly recommend having someone in your corner. Now, it's my husband. My husband gives me, unconditional love and support. And everyone on this planet needs unconditional love and support. It doesn't have to be from a man, a lover, or a spouse. It can be from a parent. It can be from a child. It could be from your sibling. It could be from a best friend. But heed my words. No man is an island. Even though I come on and say I'm a hermit. True. I have no friends. True. But I do have the love of my husband. And I do have love from my 2 children. Even Alex. Alex is the most loving 28-year-old handicapped boy out there. Oh my goodness. He's always, I get like zillions of hugs and kisses. He's like a big dog. I don't mean that in a negative way. You know how when you come home and a big dog will jump on you and lick you and be all over you with affection? That's how Alex is, all right? He's like that. If you're a dog owner, you know how it is. When you come home from work or something and the dog jumps in your lap and licking your face and, he's like that. He is like lovey, lovable, always hugging me, always kissing me, always, rubbing noses with me. He's just this lovable big teddy bear. So, and, he lives in a $1 million home, okay, in Brighton. Like a 5-minute walk from St. Elizabeth's, okay, maybe a 10-minute walk from Franciscan's Children's Hospital. Yeah, he lives in Brighton. His house on the market is $1 million. It's 3 levels. He has his own bedroom. His bedroom makes my room look like a closet. His bedroom is humongous, okay? It's humongous. And he deserves it after what he's been through. You'll have to watch my other videos. I'm not going to go there in this video. But, he has a day program where he's with other men that have traumatic brain injury. So he gets out, goes in. He has a ride, like the ride, for elderly people, but it's not that for elderly people. That takes him to his day program in Braintree, and he does, puzzles and projects, and they go for walks, and, it's kind of like a day camp for handicapped people. And he comes home, and he has home-cooked dinners, that they go out to dinner. They go bowling every Sunday. Today, I'm going to go see him. He comes home every Sunday for dinner to our house, his house. He has his own toys here. He has his own puzzles here. Like I said, he's like a 2 or 3-year-old. So we have toys, age-appropriate things that you would have for 2 or 3-year-old. What I'm trying to get at here is, and he's heavily medicated, and he's living a pretty good life. He's happy. He's always smiling. That you can have a happy, fulfilling life with mental illness. So yes, life can be worth living with chronic mental illness. I told you about my dad when he was on this medication. Told you about my handicapped son with traumatic brain injury. Me as being a borderline. But like I said, you do need to have someone who gives you unconditional love and support. I have my husband. My son has me and my husband, and he has his brother Austin. Not so much his brother Austin, but he sees him once a week, and it's about as best as you kind of can get. Austin has his own life. He's studying to be a doctor. He works full time. He's in school for his master's full time, and so he has his own life, but he still sees his brother once a week. And so even if you have severe depression, you know, I'm not in your shoes. I have been. I've had severe depression where I didn't leave the house. I ate. I told you I was obese. I was 275 pounds before I got pregnant. 275 at 5'2" and little bone. I didn't ever left the house. All I did was sleep and eat. I just existed right after I had my miscarriage. So I know I had all the shades down. I went into a very deep, deep depression. And if someone said, is life worth living to me, then I would say no. In fact, I said that. I really, you know, why bother, you know? But I hung in there because you never know what tomorrow will bring. You never know what tomorrow will bring. I know that's, you know, it's hard to really swallow that when you're in the funk, you know, when you're in that kind of depression, or when you're whatever, when you're in that state, and someone says, you know, tomorrow's another day, you go, yeah, right, you know. But, and I don't mean just tomorrow, the next day. I mean, it could be, I don't know how many tomorrows could go by, but life is all about change, you know. When people say it will pass, things will change, things do change. Nothing stays the same. Remember that. Nothing stays the same. Your feelings, whatever your feelings are, they won't stay the same. Even if you said, oh yeah, well, I've had these feelings for years. I have too. But they change. I'm 58 years old, okay? I've lived 58 years in this planet. I know, even if I've had feelings that lasted decades, it still changed at some point. And it is worth it hanging in there. I'm telling you that. It is worth it hanging in there. It's worth it to see, you know, the blue sky, hear the birds in the morning. It's worth it to take a walk along the beach. It's worth it to have someone you love. Get a pet, you know. Pets are, I'll tell you one thing, pets will love you unconditional. A dog. We have a cat. But yeah, they will love you unconditionally. If you don't have someone in your life, get a pet. Say, well, I can't afford a pet. Well, this place, you know, there's places that that you can get a pet for cheap. But what about the upkeep of a pet? I don't know. I'm sure, you know, some people have birds. How hard, what's the upkeep of a bird, you know? And that's a nice companion, right, Cher? If you're listening. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be, you know, some big, expensive $500 dog, you know? But, yes, so tomorrow's another day, you know, and life can be beautiful, even when you're struggling, even in your deepest depression like me, I was, even in the height of your intense anxiety, or when you've suffered deep loss. I've suffered very deep losses, you know, and I've gotten through it. And tomorrow will come. And if, you know, always say that. And if tomorrow seems like, oh yeah, tomorrow's the same thing as yesterday, there will be a tomorrow where things will be different. Because one thing is guaranteed in this life. One thing is 100% guaranteed, is everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Okay? So, try to find things that, you know, you love to do. That's another thing. I love to write. I get great enjoyment. I love to do these videos. I get great enjoyment doing them, you know, and I feel a purpose and I feel useful. If you're a creative person, paint or do sculptures, do modeling. Not model like fashion models, like modeling, like doing sculptures, something creative. All I know is that life can be very fulfilling and very much worth living with mental illness. Here I am. I'm proof of it. My dad is proof of it. My son, who has traumatic brain injury, he's proof of it. I mean, my son was in the hospital for 2 years. 2 years in the hospital. And he was, in diapers for years and years. I mean, he was like caged in a netted bed in the hospital. And anyone could look at that situation and say, it's hopeless, there's no point, But, like I said, everything changes. Everything changes, okay? And life, yes, life can be beautiful and life can be worth living if you just hang in there, Just hang in there, I did. So, that I leave you with those words today. Remember that everything changes. So where you are right now and how you feel right now is not going to be permanent. Okay? And with a little help, maybe medication, finding something lovable if you can't find a person, a pet that will, love you unconditionally, finding a purpose, doing something creative, go outside, going outside, take a look around you. I know the winter is bleak and everything, but, there's always spring. Like I said, in the dead of winter, when everything is bitter and icy and cold, there's always spring. Remember that. Spring will come. And it's almost the end of January, so it's going to be coming really fast, believe me. Okay. Remember, there's always tomorrow, so hang in there.